There's a famous economics experiment where the basic idea is you have $10, you have two people, and first person decides, how do you want to split up this $10 between the two of you? And the second person can either accept the offer or reject it, in which case you get nothing. Now, let's say the first person decides, I keep $9 and you get $1, and you're offended, so you reject it. And the economist looks at that and says, you just had an opportunity to get $1 and you threw it away. So you behaved irrationally. You rejected it out of spite. The psychologist might look at that and say, it was rational to reject it because you're sending a message by saying, I'm a member of a social species and you just treated me unfairly. And this is not to be tolerated in repeated contexts.
Exactly, the famous ultimatum game where, and as you put it, there's a narrow sense in which it's irrational to throw away a dollar of free money. On the other hand, if you think of it in game theoretic terms, and I do have a chapter in Rationality on game theory, which is how should you pursue your goals in a world with other rational agents pursuing their goals? And game theory leads to a lot of mind-bending paradoxes and surprises. And one of them is that being a stubborn hothead can often, in the long run, be rational. So as you put it, the guy in the ultimatum game experiment who thinks, that asshole, he could have split it 50-50. What right does he have to keep $9 and give me a miserable, measly $1? I refuse to be treated like that. I'll show him that's the way he wants to think, then neither of us is going to get anything. In a sense, that's irrational. On the other hand, if that's the kind of reputation you cultivate, the next time around, the guy not wanting to lose his share will say, I better give a 50-50 split because otherwise this guy is going to get sore and we won't get anything. So the irrational response of the respondent can, in a dyadic situation, if it's repeated over the long term, and we have considerations like reputation and memory for past encounters, can be rational. I actually did a study. My name is on it, but the credit for the idea goes to a postdoc of mine, Ian Reed, together with a couple of the postdocs, Omar Hake and Peter DeSholi, where we did a version of the ultimatum game, but we had the respondent announce beforehand that I refuse to accept less than 20%. We paid a Harvard undergraduate to deliver this message, either with a neutral facial expression or with a kind of determined angry expression. And sure enough, people gave fairer offers when the pre-commitment was accompanied by a stern facial expression, supporting the idea that facial expressions themselves are rational strategies in conveying commitments in situations of bargaining.